Hola amigos, be welcome to this new video. My name is Carmen. I am from Spain, from Madrid. Language-wise, I am English speaker, philologist, and passionate more and more about my native language, which is Spanish. So let's go to the relevant thing, which is why are we here? In the late years, recent years, I have been more direct contact with people, students who embarked on learning or improving Spanish. So in that diversity of people, I want to share here with you what I have found in common with many of them. And from that, I suggest that you take some lessons, you design some strategies, if your case is that you are thinking about embarking on the journey of learning Spanish, or you are already on it. Yeah. So here we go. It would take 20-30 minutes or more. Because it's 5-6 ideas, the ones that I wanted to share. I think that a crucial aspect to bear in mind when in this case we're speaking is about the Spanish, yes? So when you decide or someone decides to study Spanish, to learn Spanish, the reply to that, why it's essential, because that is what would be the personal fuel to be committed, to be disciplined, and to do the hard work, and being patient. And that patient, I mean, the length, the improvements in each person, or the pace, let's say that way, varies. So the focus should be in yourself. Do not compare to others, because otherwise that's when the problems are going to come. For example, you will be demotivated and you will quit. And that's the mistake, the capital it is, to quit. So one of the things that I emphasize, yeah, when someone starts learning Spanish is, let me share with you what you're going to face, particularly at those first steps. One of those things is confusion. It's like, what is this? Jesus Christ. And the fact of comparing to your native language or to other languages you speak. Why does it work like that? Why not like your own language, you know? And in majority of the cases, my reply is, okay, what is the sport you play? Do you like playing football? All right, tell me another one. Tennis, okay. Are both of them a sport? Yes. Do they follow the same rules? No. So trying to play tennis like playing football and the other way around is a big mistake. So apply that to the languages as well. It's a new game, so learn the rules and play it. Another issue is the expectations that the student has in regards to speaking Spanish. Yeah. And when I face that, it's after 2 weeks or less. I say, you already speak Spanish. But I just say like how to introduce myself. That's what I'm saying. You will speak Spanish. But the thing is that what you have in mind, very precise, is speak. in 2 weeks like a native. You can do it, but it takes time and do the right things at the right time. Simply that. But start as well telling yourself you will speak Spanish. Not fluent, but you are improving it. Tell it to yourself. What else? I just took my notes like, okay, what else is what I hear the most? Having mentioned a couple of some issues that you will hear, you will face, or even though those words will be coming from your mouth if you are planning to start or you have just started. Yeah. So it's the fact that all of them have solution. All of them. Try to consider optimizing all the tools that you have, and not just a teacher or a course that you're doing on your own. Nowadays, 2025, there are multiple resources included artificial intelligence. So use them all. Immerse Spanish in your daily life with your device in Spanish. Not watching movies and series or telenovelas in Spanish, but just some short videos, 1-2 minutes. Try to understand few words. Yeah, and if not, just you feel comfortable with the fact of you hear, you see, you repeat, and you get used to yourself speaking Spanish. Again, I'm not just talking about you speaking it perfectly well, but you get used to speaking Spanish. Ignore the rich diversity that Spanish language is. So, what tools I'm talking to? Well, I'm sure that many of those are coming to your mind. Some apps to improve your vocabulary, your pronunciation, bear in mind your hobbies, and go through, Spanish and learn more about your hobbies. Yeah. For example, but every day when you go to the supermarket, why not doing the shopping list in Spanish? Believe me, I have heard this like, oh yeah, no, come on, but I have to search for the words like, oh really? Oh, what a drama. That's telenovela, ain't it? It's what you think, that the knowledge may be one day, but it's going to come like this to you. You have to work it. Just what do you expect? So less drama, less complain, and let's do the job. That's why, again, I'm back to the beginning when I say, why do you want to learn Spanish? It's because it is the official language in 19 countries. Why? Okay, what else? Yes. The fact of some signals that, for me, indicate that alarm, that Houston, there is a problem here. The motivational problem that repeated could take or could guide students to quit. For example, I don't speak Spanish after just a few weeks, 1 month. Again, because the concept of speaking Spanish, like you mean having basic conversations. It's no yet. You are working on it. It's not going to come to you. You have to go for it. Or as well, things like, oh, I forget everything. I've forgotten everything that I've seen. Well, what about if doing something like repeating it? It's just because in the classroom, for example, if that is your case, you go there a limited time, yeah, and days as well. So what about you doing list of vocabulary, yeah? And then to refresh what you had already seen. I say this in a very cautious way because it depends on the person. Yeah. For example, this issue of the list for me worked very well, even though with verbs, whatever language I've learned. Yeah. But maybe, and I've seen people like that, just the fact of listening something a couple of times, they retain it very well. Even though it's not the age. So you have to find out on your own, which is the easiest, the way, more than the easiest. I don't want to leave behind the word because it has to be that. So what is the way that for you will facilitate to learn, understand, and use and retain? Remember, that's the fact. And that is, you have to do it with your teacher or on your own. Yeah. Okay, what else? Oh, yes, this is another telenovela moment. I have like the shopping list, the same. Like, oh, that's a mistake. Oh, how many mistakes I'm doing. Oh, another mistake. Telenovela. I always say that, like, oh my gosh, telenovela. Oh, embrace the mistakes. Thanks them. Because they are an excellent opportunity for you to correct, to rectify, to learn and move forward. And here, I'm seeing more and more something, and this is not new, but it's something that catches my attention. The fact of trusting in the mind too much instead of writing. Yeah. Maybe because I'm from old way of learning, but I insist a lot, whatever age, like, is this a new knowledge for you? Yes, write it down. Write it down. In my telephone, no. Embrace the pen or paper as well and write it. That's what I think. Yeah. Well, maybe it's because something new, but more and more people are seeing it. And me personally, I don't like it. I believe more on the results of writing than in knowledge. I'm working on it different ways. Oh, another telenovela moment. Spanish speak too fast. Like, oh, yes. It depends on the person, more than generalizing it. Because, for instance, me, when I listen to, for example, Arabic, for me it's like, oh my gosh, oh Jesus, that's Formula One. In the speaking language, or the Greek, or the German. Yeah, I don't deny the fact that maybe, yes, we speak too fast, but it's not generic Spanish. It's the person. And me, in particular, I admit it, it's a daily job I do in order to, as not just in Spanish, but in other languages I speak, I slow down. Yeah. So, you knowing that whenever you face a situation that you're starting with Spanish and the other person is like speaking Gonzalez, or you don't understand, look, ask for disculpe, ¿puede repetir, por favor? Or simply disculpe, no entiendo. That is it. Or hable más despacio. Slow down. Ask, don't complain. But you will see how, as your Spanish fluency improves, you will have less impression of they speak too fast. But it happens because I have seen that path. You begin to fluently speaking about any topic in Spanish, and then not in the narrative being, oh, you speak very fast Spanish, to you speak very fast now as well. Meaning to say you speak more fluent. Let's not confuse one thing with the other. Yeah? All right. What else? Oh, the last thing I wanted to, and I want to invest more time on this, which is the verbs. The verbs in particular. Okay, let me explain something. First of all, I love doing the things in general easy, simple. If it doesn't happen, it's because we don't understand it and we don't know how to transmit it. Let's call a language coach or a teacher, educator, lecturer, blah, blah, blah. We are pure bridges of a bridge of between the knowledge and the person who wants to get that knowledge. So we need to be the facilitator, in my opinion. So when I start introducing the Spanish verbs, there are several things that I'm going to share with you now. And unless you are an academicist, academic person, well, because two perfectionists, which I like anyway, it's like in life, let's prioritize. And with the Spanish, being a beginner as well. So we will start familiarizing with verb tenses, how Spanish verbs work. It doesn't mean these are the only rules. There are more, but first is the introduction and understanding the system of Spanish verbs, how it works. Simple. So having in mind that belief of one thing at a time and paying special attention to, for example, the present tense for many reasons, instead of focusing on the irregular verbs and doing drama. Let's say that irregular verbs are, well, follow a slightly, unless slightly, rule. It's not all, it's 20 are regular, 20% are regular verbs, 80% irregular verbs. And all of them are regular. No, there are different variations. There are some just very regular, others in between, and others, it's like that. That's peanuts, So, step by step. Once you identify a new verb, first things like, what is the infinitive verb? I know in a few seconds I'm going to that. And next question, is that regular or irregular? Okay, and then, third step, learn the present tense. That's it. Oh, I have heard of the subjunctive and imperative. Okay, no yet. You're not prepared for that. I'm bored of all the time, the present tense. Like, oh, really? Let me give you 5 verbs. Tell me the conjugation. I don't remember. So, meaning to say you're not prepared for the next. I want to talk about something about the past. Okay, use the present. You know what I mean? It's like we want to run without walking properly. properly, basic, in order to use the verb. So, coming a little bit backwards to what I said about the Spanish verbs, what I said is think of Spanish verbs like a box, yeah, with different departments, of different categorizations or categories. One is the endings, the suffixes of the verbs in Spanish that, in this case, on the one hand, we speak about the infinitive form, what in English is, for example, to go, to speak. That to, that marks the infinitive of a verb, is an action, yeah? In Spanish, is at the end, is a suffix. We have three, ar and ir. Yeah? Then, that's on the one hand. On the other hand, we have, I always give this an example. We say modos. Modos, we have how the glasses that we use to see life. One is indicative, which we refer to facts. Yeah, it's hot. It's a fact. Yeah? Something that refers to the future or a personal point of view, something subjective. Then we change the conjugation of a verb into subjunctive. Why? Because that's how this game is played. We can speak about, for sure, many issues like that in other languages like German or Russian or French. Yeah. And then we have the imperative. What else? How, when we speak about conjugation, like in English, because that's the communication tool that we have, both of us, is I speak, you speak, he speaks. The changes that happen in the verb uses conjugation, which what happens that in Spanish, it's more marked, meant to say it changes really in all the forms, in all the personal pronouns. I, you, he, she, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? Sorry, I say blah, blah, blah because I don't want to extend more time. Yeah? If you are interested in embarking in that exciting journey of learning Spanish, that I always say, more than learning is speaking. I'm not into teaching, I'm into making you speak. Yeah? How? Contact me. Yes. So, when we speak of conjugation, we have some verbs in Spanish that we say regular verbs, verbos regulares, that follow a rule, a law. And then others that do not follow that rule 100%. Those are the irregulars. I have some verbs that are really regular, that change a lot, others a little bit, and others, something. So it's like the thermometer, yeah? It changes depending on the verb. But what happens is that you will have to first follow those steps I said at the beginning, and then learn the verbs. So how to do that? Well, maybe you are, okay, I am, you are, he, she, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you prefer to, that's why I suggest people like have the theory here next to you and the practice. And do plenty of practice next to you, the theory. I'm not going to learn. Oh, yes, my dear. Oh, yes, you learn. You see, you learn. But this is a soft way of learning it. Yeah. However, you prefer the other way? Perfect. But bear in mind that, like in any other language, verbs are essential. And during those first steps, you need to focus on understanding what I said. What is what you're going to face with the Spanish verbs? Oh, the regulars. Forget about the regulars now. You need to understand, conjugate properly, the verbs regular, regular, and then after that we will start working about what? Like that box, then the tenses, present, past, the different past that we have. Why? Because it's not the same something that happened this morning, yesterday, 1 year ago, 20 years ago. There is a difference on not just the proximity to the moment we speak, but as well in terms of if there is any relationship to the moment that action that we speak, yeah? Amongst other things. But as said, these are some of the common issues that you will face, particularly at the very beginning, yeah? So don't be so hard with yourself. It's a rich, more complex language if we compare it to English. And I'm saying it because I'm English philologist and comparing both things like that. For me, it's richer. However, it's a new game, and you need to learn little by little, yeah, those words. So if you are right now at the A1, focus on the present simple, because you have a plethora of verbs there, and it takes time to understand the rule of regular and irregular. But the way I'm thinking about now, it just mainly this happen with the adults. The teenagers and kids is another game, literally another game, because 99% is like, no, don't give me this blackboard, don't give me paper, give me this, okay? Or the mobile. This is the Apple times, and me personally, as far as they speak, I don't mind. Is that what you prefer? When I'm going to the month language, you speak to me. That's it. Mixing it, the Spanish, English, French, and your language, I don't mind. Speak. Yeah. So, not much. I think that I have almost accomplished the 30 minutes and not extend more. But I would love to hear from you if, excuse me, you would like to discuss about something, or you would like some content to be seen in our either podcast, Spanish Language Bites, or in the YouTube and TikTok, social media like Instagram and Facebook as well, profiles, and Pinterest as well, by the way, and the website being launched very, very soon. Nevertheless, if you are ready, or even if you are thinking about exploring the Spanish language in Amazon, you can find some of my books that you can find in the description of the video, and you have from pure beginners extended in more detail. What you will face in those first steps regarding Spanish, but I mean, face them with humor, relax, and continue. Yeah? Or once you are in already this mode of Spanish learning, you can find one of my books, for example, about the irregular verbs, or as well the subjunctive, or 2 books about stories in Spanish, and then some questions for reading comprehension. They are very short, they are not very long, by the way, and some cultural aspect as well mentioned. So one more time, thank you very much, really, for sharing this time together. If you want to embark with us in learning Spanish, we'll be more than happy to make you speak. I wish you a beautiful day ahead y hasta pronto. Adiós.